Here they all come. We've got lots of great folks with us this evening, panelists. Our numbers are great, so you will certainly have plenty of folks to talk to. As far as our panelists go, everyone, they are from a bunch of different areas on campus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Katie Kitchens, and then she can kick it off to whoever's next, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Julie. Hi, I'm Katie Kitchens. I work in the Center for Student Success as well with Julie at the university here. So I'm excited to kind of kick off tonight's presentation and introduce the rest of our panelists. So just to kind of give you a rundown of how things are going to flow tonight. I know we've got such a big audience here tonight because everyone just wants to get that information about move-in. What's this going to look like? What's that procedure? Or what can I expect on campus? For some folks, it may be your first time coming to campus. So there's a lot, I'm sure of maybe anxiety, excitement, apprehension, just about getting through this. So that'll really be the meat of tonight's presentation. So I'm going to introduce all of our panelists. We'll talk about the move-in process, and then we'll really just go right to Q&A and conversation, because we know you probably have lots of questions, and we put all the right people in the room to be able to answer those for you tonight. So without further ado, I should also mention, as you can probably tell from all of our backgrounds, many of us are broadcasting to you tonight from our homes. So if you hear a tiny voice in the background, that would be my son, who is off to bed very soon. So just to put that out there, it's not in your head. It's really my kid. So for tonight, we have me from the Center for Student Success, and also Jill. I'll let you introduce yourself from ResLife.
Hello, I'm so glad that everybody is here joining us this evening. My name is Jill Engel-Hellman. I work over in the Office of Residential Life, and we have been fielding a lot of your questions through our email and our voicemail, and looking forward to being able to answer questions that you have. And I've already seen a few that I will be able to answer for you very shortly.
All right, and Fallon.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fallon Roberson-Roby, Fallon like Jimmy Fallon. I am the Assistant Director of Student Engagement within the Office of Student Engagement and Inclusion. So I'm just here if you all have any questions about ways to get involved on campus after the move-in process, and what are some things that would take interest in you while you're here on campus.
Thanks, Fallon. And Chrissy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Chrissy Barrera. I am the Director of Orientation in the Center for Student Success, as well as many of your students' first-year advisors, or advisors, rather. I advise for the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm one of the assistant directors here in the Center for Student Success. So excited to hear some of your questions.
And Jeff.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Jeff LeBlanc. I'm the Director of Operations for the Dining Services team on campus. Here to answer any questions about move-in food, here to answer any questions that anybody might have about their students having any allergies or intolerances, or anything that we can help you out with on dining.
Thank you so much. So that's our team. So hopefully, kind of who we are and where we come from gives you a sense of the kinds of questions that we're all available to help answer tonight. If you have questions and nobody here is able to help, we will take down your information and get back to you. So, if we're not able to address every single thing, in the moment tonight, don't worry, we're still here for you. And we will follow up with you and provide some contact information for you as well at the end here. So next up, we will get right into the meat of the move-in process. So Jill, I'd love it if you could give us kind of the rundown about the sign up in advance for time slots, and then I'm going to jump in a little bit too. And Chrissy, I know you'll want to talk about Start Strong. So we've got a lot on this going on this slide. Oh, Jill, so sorry, you're muted.
Sorry. So in order to sign up for a time slot, there are instructions actually on the website. And students will just go into self-service, into their housing portal, and they will pick a time. There are lots and lots of different times. And if for some reason your favorite time is taken, there'll be another time 10 minutes later that you can select. But we really want to spread it out so that nobody has to wait in line that long. And that it's a really quick and easy process to move through, not only when you are checking in, but when you're unloading your car. Because there aren't a ton of spaces in front of the building, but if we stagger it, it'll allow everybody to unload the closest position possible. So please, sign up to do that. And if you have questions about it, let us know. If for some reason you need to change your time, it's really easy. We don't need to assist. You can just go in and your student can cancel their time and pick a new one. So pretty easy.
Thanks so much, Jill. And as you can see from the slide, there are some designated times where students should plan to try to sign up for, right? So if you're living in Hawk Hall, signing up for a time slot on Thursday between 8:30 and 11:30, that's what gets you here in time to do all the Hawk Hall programming that you're going to be doing for the weekend. And then Chrissy, I'd love for you to jump in and just explain the connection between, because I know this question's come up a lot, even just on the phones in the last couple of weeks, the connection between their Start Strong session and their move-in time.
Yeah, sure. So absolutely. And great question. So your move-in time will correlate with the day of your Start Strong session. So just like Jill said, you will sign up, or your student will sign up for a time to move into their resident halls between 8:30 and 11:30. Our Start Strong program will begin at 1 p.m. So they have plenty of time to unload, set up their resident hall. We'll have a team helping them, our Howie's helpers, like Jill, I think, made mention of. So there'll be a team helping them getting unloaded and unpacked. We will have options for them, you and your student, to grab like a grab and go sandwich in our dining hall and commons, and you can feel free to eat it outside. Hopefully sunshine will be there. So it'll be a lot of, and Jeff can probably talk about this, there'll be a lot of spaces outside for them to eat. So it is grab and go, which helps you also to have more time to set up your student's resident hall. But the program will start at 1 p.m. So you move in that morning, you get everything set up, you grab a sandwich and the grab and go lunch at the commons. And then by 1 p.m., we're going to kickstart our Start Strong session at 1 o'clock with our welcome program. So that's where you're going to say bye to your student and you can head on back home, and they're going to be in programming for the rest of the day, evening. And then we also have some second day programming that starts in the morning, goes to the second day afternoon. So they do want to make sure that their Start Strong session aligns with their move-in day and move-in time frame. I promise they'll have plenty of time. I've had some emails of students saying, I'm not going to have enough time to set up before Start Strong is starting. I promise they will. And so their Start Strong date should align with their move-in date. Hawk Hall and Lead, we do want to make sure that they sign up for Start Strong session 2. We have some additional programming that happens on Friday. So we want to make sure they get in that Start Strong session 2, which is Saturday to Sunday.
Thanks so much, Chrissy. So that's like an important one for folks at home to pay attention to, is you're signing up for Start Strong through your student applicant portal. And if you're signing up for the Start Strong session that starts on Friday, then when you go in to sign up for your move-in slot, you want to sign up for a Friday morning move-in slot. So that making that connection, I think, is really helpful. I think we've had some folks so far who have been feeling like, oh, if I'm doing Start Strong on Saturday, does that mean I should sign up to move in on Friday? No, because then I don't want you to be bored. So let's make sure that your Start Strong aligns, right away after you move in, so that, we can kick off your programming weekend strong. We've got so much going on, but we just want to make sure everything lines up for everybody. And then Jill, I think you had another comment.
Well, I was just going to add, because I'm looking at the questions, and it said that one individual, their son had signed up for a time slot between 8:30 and 11:30. And so I want to be clear that that's actually not a time slot. On the website, it says that if you're coming on certain days, the time frame, but we actually want you to sign up for a specific time slot that will give you a specific time. So another student asked, they said they have a time slot of 10 a.m. in the morning, and that means come to campus to arrive at 10 a.m. And then you'll start the process at that point. Again, when you sign up, it allows us to spread things out so that we can really have an enjoyable time for everyone. We want to be able to interact with you, and for you, again, to be able to park as close as possible to unload your belongings. The only way we can do that is if we spread things out. So again, please have your student go into the portal and to pick a time that they want to come, either on the morning of the 19th if they happen to be part of an RLC or if Lead, on the 20th if they're doing Start Strong 1 in the morning, and then on the 21st if they're doing Start Strong 2. And again, that's the time frame, but that's actually not the move-in time slot.
Yep. So like Jill was saying, your move-in time slot is going to be like a 10-minute window. That doesn't mean the whole process is only going to take 10 minutes because, we've, got a lot of unloading and things to do to get settled in your room. But by breaking it up every 10 minutes, it allows us to really keep the flow moving so that you have a positive experience. We don't want long lines for you or just lots of waiting around in the car. So we try to keep that going as smoothly as possible. So everybody is kind of staggered in so that you don't have a long wait. Hopefully you appreciate that. I know I would. All right. Julie, are you seeing any questions that we should be answering so far based on the slide we're on, or should we just keep on? I know you're furiously answering questions over there and I don't want to interrupt, but if there's stuff we can say.
That was great. That was actually great timing. And I did want to also just tell everyone that if it looks like I'm not paying attention, it's because I have the questions on my other screen. So I am answering you as quickly as I possibly can. So forgive my face over here. There is a couple of questions about the length of the time frame to move in, and that's 2 hours, correct?
Approximately 2 hours. That's a guideline. I'm sure that for some people, they will finish a little before 2 hours, and a few people might take more than 2 hours. But essentially that's the guideline that we want to give to people.
Perfect.
And it may you may not have all your ducks in a row, right? When it's time to head out for Start Strong and start the festivities. But and Fallon will talk about this. I know there's lots of other opportunities and time to have downtime and continue to set up throughout the weekend. And spoiler alert, even a trip off campus to gather some other essentials. So I don't want to give too much away.
There are a couple of questions about whether or not parents can actually help setting up the room. And one about, Jill, I'm not sure if you saw the one about a roommate is coming from California, but having things shipped to a local address. Is it okay for the local address to be moving in those things? That kind of a question.
So I'm going to do that one first in terms of, we will be sending out an email that has campus box numbers later this week, and you are welcome to have things shipped to that address. We don't send it out too early because actually they will return things if they are not sent close enough to the move-in date. But that information will be coming. You are more than welcome to ship things here and to get those items. And having her things come to your home. Okay, you can bring, yes, absolutely. You can bring things with you if you're bringing your roommate's items, that's very kind of you and wonderful. So absolutely, you can do that. And please remind me of the other question. I got totally distracted, Julie.
People who can help them move in, I think was the one. And so, limitations on people coming into the spaces. I think this would probably be a good time to just go into that. And then people coming onto campus in general.
So certainly we have a limit of 3 individuals to come. There's not a lot of other things to do. Unfortunately, we don't have the pomp and circumstance that we would love to have, and all of the events for parents and families or other people that are important in your life. So as a result, we are saying, please bring no more than 3 people with you. And then only one of those people can be in your room at a time. That way we are staying within our guidelines for our guest policy. We have an exception during the move-in period that it can be anyone that can assist you. And everyone will need to be masked during that process, even in room, until people leave, and then that rule will change a little bit. But it's really important that we only have one at a time. Otherwise, the buildings become really congested, and we want to keep everybody healthy, and we also want to keep things moving. It actually works really well because if you bring, I would say, 2 extra people with you with your student will go in by themselves to check in. And when you get over to the residence hall side, you're going to pull in, they're going to unload your items onto a tarp. And then one person can stay with the tarp and the other person can drive your car and park it in a location. And then your student can start to carry things inside. So it's really perfect. And you'll always want to have somebody with your things anyway. So having one person taking turns, hopefully your legs won't get too tired that way.
I think we may be migrating to the next slide, just sort of in talking through this process. So I want to just go ahead and move to that, and then we can, answer any more questions that are coming up. But I feel like if I didn't do this, then we'd get to the next slide and be like, oh, we already did this. We already did this. So just to give an overview of like what it's going to actually look and feel like when you get onto campus. You can't get lost. I'll just say that first. I know sometimes, driving onto a new college campus, if you haven't visited us before, it might feel like I'm not going to know where to go. There's no way you can get lost. Public safety is at every intersection, telling you exactly where you need to be going. There's only one way to do this. So when you come onto campus, you'll be directed to Jenga Student Union and to park in the parking lot right adjacent to that building. The student will come out and head inside the building to complete the check-in process. That's got a couple of steps involved in the check-in process, and we just take care of it all in one place. So the only time a parent should come with a student inside to the Jenga Student Union is if the student will be under 18 years old when they are checking into campus, because we do have some forms and things that the student may need to fill out that we would need a parent or guardian signature on those as well. But otherwise, the student will come straight into the cafeteria of Jenga Student Union, and they'll do the vaccine verification. So as you know, there's a COVID vaccine requirement for the University of Hartford for this fall. So that first checkpoint is just confirming that we've received that completed vaccination card. If the student hasn't gone in and uploaded that card to the student health portal yet, now is the time so that there's no delays. And if you have any questions about that, please, you've been so great about this so far. Just continue to email your questions to covid19@hartford.edu, and someone will definitely get back to you. A lot of times it's me. So you'll definitely get a response from COVID-19 if you have questions about how to upload the card or anything like that. So once a student has cleared that area, they'll be able to head over to the residential life kind of key pickup and start strong check-in space. It's all in the same room. So they'll just head right down to the next section. They'll be able to obtain their room key, sign their housing agreement, and check in for Start Strong and get their Start Strong schedule. So it's all kind of seamless and everything, happens right there. And then the student can head back out to the car, and there will be sort of a car caravan that then heads over to the residential side of campus where they'll start that unloading and kind of moving things into the room process. So I'll pause there because I just did a lot. What are we seeing, Julie?
Can I jump in real quick?
Please.
There seems to be a lot of confusion regarding what Start Strong is. So if we could maybe have Chrissy jump on that for a moment.
You got it.
And then there's also a lot of confusion regarding Hawk Hall, Move-In, and Start Strong. And I think if we touch on those two topics, we could probably clear out about 15 to 20 questions.
Thank you. I was like ferociously typing. I was like, oh my goodness. So Start Strong, we're super excited. It's going to be the in-person experience for all of the first year students. So they might have attended a virtual orientation in May, or they might be attending a virtual orientation coming up August 15th and 16th. So Start Strong, we really focus on welcoming the students, engaging them, and connecting them to one another. So that's kind of our motto is welcome, engage, connect. So we have a lot of different activities planned for them to connect with one another, meet their first year advisor face-to-face, do some icebreakers, break out into major activities. We have a welcome program that's going to welcome them to the UHart family. We have some guest speakers, a motivational speaker. Our orientation leaders are super excited to just welcome them, answer any questions they have. So this is a traditional experience that your first year student would have experienced normally in hopefully May or June. So we're just doing it a little bit later in August. So they're going to have a chance to connect with the Division of Student Success, get any of their questions answered. We have a company that's actually coming. It's called Playfair. You can certainly Google it. It's a really great company. They get students interacting and playing games with one another, breaking down some barriers, getting them to meet people that maybe they normally wouldn't have said hi to or know because they're not in the same major as them. So again, all with the theme of welcoming them to campus. We're super excited that it's in person, engaging them, getting them excited for their fall. They're going to take a campus tour, find out where all their classes are, and then really connecting with one another. So a lot of great events planned. So you can certainly feel free to go to hartford.edu/orientation. We had a tentative schedule up there for students to look at, for you guys to look at, and some of the fun activities that we have planned for them. So Start Strong, it's our in-person experience. We're also having a local food truck come, which I'm super excited about. It's called Blue Chip Creamery. So you can have your student look that up. They're located in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and it's all complimentary to them, so they can experience some of the local food trucks in the area as well. We're gonna have a fire pit on one of the evenings. Jeff and his team are helping us with s'mores. So it's really gonna be a fun and great time for them to interact with their class. Please check out the website. You'll see the tentative schedule up there. Certainly, if you have other questions about Start Strong and some of the activities, you can drop them in the chat. But that's kind of an overview, is getting them really connected to UHart. And then to answer the Hawk Hall question, which has been the popular question so far of the night for me. So Hawk Hall students, any student living in an RLC, and any student who's going to be a part of the LEAD program this upcoming fall is moving in on Thursday. They should be registered for a Start Strong session on Saturday to Sunday. It's a 1.5 day event. Some of the questions are like, well, why not Friday to Saturday? They're moving in Thursday. It's because Residential Life and LEAD has some additional programming to get them acclimated to their RLC or acclimated to the members of LEAD on that Friday. So in order to jam pack everything in, they move in Thursday. They have some additional programming with Residential Life and LEAD on Friday, and then they're going to attend Start Strong Saturday to Sunday, and then they start classes on Monday. So if your student is going to be living in Hawk Hall or LEAD, or if they're a member of LEAD, have them sign up for Start Strong Session 2, Saturday to Sunday. If for whatever reason they are signed up for Session 1 and need to change it, we can certainly make that change for them. They can email the Center for Student Success at hartford.edu. It's css@hartford.edu, and we can change that for them. So hopefully that helped. I can certainly answer some of these questions in here, but hopefully it gives you a little bit more clarity on that.
So, and I just want to jump in and say that, you know, in terms of Residential Life with the RLCs, there are lots of great things planned. I've been working with the resident director. The RAs are here training, and they are planning activities a full day. And we're really excited to do that. So you will stay plenty busy, and don't worry, before you start strong on Saturday, you'll get to sleep in a little bit. That is being worked into the schedule. So we really look forward to having you. And I know LEAD is also really excited to offer some really great programming too.
Sorry, I'm also going to jump in about like the evening activities related to Start Strong. So we do have some fun activities like Chrissy and Jill explained, especially Saturday night. We're trying to do some stuff with the fire pit, whether it's outdoor karaoke, some s'mores, and I'm not going to give all that away. We're going to surprise you. Just for any supporters and parents on the call, please know we did this program last year, but there's a Target, a grocery store not too far away from campus called Bishop's Corner, and we will be shuttling students from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. back and forth. So if your student forgets anything or realizes like, hey, you know, some wall decor that's approved would look really, really good, we will be shuttling those students on Sunday, August 22nd from 5 p.m. to 10. So just in case there's any last minute things, if you want to leave them in our care and you're ready to go party at home now that your student is here, we will take them and take care of them and help them get any last minute items that they need.
It's a fun event. Bishop's Corner is crawling with UHart students on this night, and there's lots of shops and restaurants and things there as well. So it's great. It's a great chance for the students to get acclimated to just like a fun area that's convenient, really close to campus, and then pick up those last minute essentials. So I'm a really big fan of the Target night. Thank you so much, Fallon.
Yes, no problem.
All right, Julie, what else should we be touching on before we go to the next slide?
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. There's a question about if my roommate signed up for 8:30 and I signed up for 9, should one of us be switching the times because we can't all be in the room at the same time? Great question. There was just another one I wanted to go over. Give me 1 second.
Jill, do you want to start off with the?
Sorry,
That's okay.
So just a disclaimer, I am in the office working, and our office is open till 8 o'clock at night. So I just had somebody pop in their head to ask a question because we had one come in. So if you can please repeat it, I apologize, but I was trying to help her out.
Sorry, the question was about roommates moving in around the same time frame, and will they be allowed to do that and move in at the same time?
So yes, they can move in. That's one of the reasons that we're saying only one additional person can be in your room at a time. So you can bring up to 3 people with you. So student is 1, up to 3 people with you. I wouldn't recommend, 3. I would say 2 is a really great number because one person can move the car, one person can stay with your stuff, and one person can be making trips. But if you want to bring 3, please feel free to do that. And you can have a total of 3. But we just don't want more than 4 people in a room at a time for your doubles. They're just not really big enough to have more than that. And we want to keep everybody safe.
Perfect. Can someone, either Chrissy, Jeff, whomever, address a little bit about dining options during Start Strong? Because we have a lot of people who are hungry and they want to know how they're going to eat.
That was going to be my question to send over to Jeff. There's a lot of questions about meal options for Start Strong.
Yeah, no problem. So I actually been answering a couple of them. I saw a couple of folks had dietary restriction questions. So, and I did put my email address in there too. So feel free to email me after if you'd like to, have a private conversation about it. But throughout the weekend, we have tons of different events going on. Chrissy talked about some of the events that we're doing late night. We have some ice cream novelties that we're giving away. We also have s'mores that we're doing one night. And I know that you guys talked about some of the food trucks coming on campus. Our main residential dining hall, which is called Commons, will be open for your students on Friday. It'll be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., continuous throughout the whole day. And then on Saturday, it's open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And same thing on Sunday, it'll be open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then starting on Monday, we'll be open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So during that time, there's plenty of different options. We have a grill station, we have a salad bar, we have a pizza station, a small plates like tapas style station. We have an amazing bakery. We have a kosher station that will be open on Friday. We have a grill station, our entree station. We have a plant-based station. We have a deli. Some soup, different soup offerings. So we have tons of different things for everybody. We have plenty of lactose tolerant things as well. We have oat milk, we have soy milk, we have almond milk. So we pretty much have you guys covered wherever you need anything. We also will have our Hawks Nest location open during move-in, which is our late night pub that we have on campus, but we're opening it from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. During opening weekend. So that's another option for you guys. But I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the lunch location that Chrissy has for you guys available that is free of charge will be at Commons. So make sure you make your way over to Commons. And like I said, we're open pretty much from the time your student would be coming on campus till you guys are hopefully home and safe. So we have plenty of options for you.
Hi, me again. I keep having trouble with that unmute button. I'm not sure what's going on. Will you guys be addressing things such as, I just lost my head. Vuelo más alto. There's some questions about that. There's a couple of international student questions about how they register if they're coming in on the 18th. So a couple of different unique scenarios, and I'm just not sure what you have on your slides.
I don't have any of those things, so let's do this. So Vuelo Más Alto, we're so excited about that program, and you will actually be arriving before this whole process kicks in. So you'll have a different move-in process that you'll work through that's specifically part of that program. So you don't need to sign up for a move-in time slot. You should still sign up for a Start Strong session. Chrissy, which session should those students be signing up for?
Saturday.
Saturday, great, because you'll be in your Vuelo Más Alto program from the time you move in on the 18th all the way until Saturday morning when you'll be able to sleep in and then head to the Start Strong programming for Saturday into Sunday. And then international students, yes. So we know that there's just so many different factors going on with our international students and just trying to get to the United States, flight times, and there's just a lot of coordination that's going on. So some of our international students, for one reason or another, are arriving a little bit earlier in advance of these move-in times. You should be working directly with the Office of Residential Life to coordinate your move-in. Jill, do you want to talk any more about international students who may need to be arriving earlier than this process?
So I think our office coordinator actually sent out emails tonight. If not, they're going out tomorrow morning to all of our international students, just reminding you to work with the international students office. Please let them know when you are coming, and then we will work with you. We understand that if you are coming from a different country, there aren't planes that leave every 10 minutes. And so sometimes those things don't align well. And we do have a process for you to arrive. So please get in touch with us. We'll work with you and we'll help you out.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Hey, Julie, can I hop in? There's some questions about commuter students in Start Strong.
Yes. Awesome.
So commuter students, we are still inviting, they're part of our Start Strong process. So although they're not moving into a residential space, they should plan to check in for Start Strong in the Gengris Student Union from 11 to 12. There'll be a table set up just for commuter students so they can get all of their information, their Start Strong ID badges. From 11 to 12, they can head over to Commons and grab some lunch. It's grab and go. It's complimentary to commuter students, even if they do not have a meal plan. So they can certainly grab lunch there, eat it outside in one of our nice spaces. And then the welcome program starts at 1 p.m. So I would say if you're a commuter student, you should probably plan to be on campus anywhere from 11 to 12. Our nighttime programming wraps up around 9 to 9:30. Certainly you can feel free to leave a little earlier, but we would encourage you to stay, grab a s'mores, do some karaoke. There are going to be some lawn games out there at night under the campus stars. So definitely you'll want to stay well into the evening. We will feed you dinner. So that will all be complimentary as well. And then the next morning for Start Strong, you should plan to arrive on campus around 10 o'clock. Around 9 o'clock. And then our Playfair event will begin around 9:30, from 9:30 to 10:30. So a little bit of an early commute time. And then it wraps up around 1 p.m. So if you are a commuter student, please make sure you are registered for Start Strong. And the advantage is you can choose either session 1 or session 2. And you check into GSU between 11 and 12. So hopefully that answers. I saw some questions for commuter students. And yes, we are encouraging them to sign up for Start Strong as well.
Yeah, so your process that you'll follow to actually come onto campus and get over to Start Strong looks almost exactly like the process for residential students, except when you leave Gengris Student Union after doing the vaccine verification check-in and doing the Start Strong check-in, you won't have a key with you. You'll just have a hang tag that lets you park in a parking lot over near the residential side of campus so that you can head into all the activities. So again, just follow the directions from public safety. When you arrive on campus, you'll kind of snake around campus and head into Gengris Student Union. Just follow the crowds, and we will get you where you need to be. I'm going to move to the next slide unless there's more questions, Julie, that we should answer immediately.
I imagine you're going to get to vaccination cards. So you're starting to get a litany of questions about if they should be on their person.
Yes, I'm just going to answer it now. The answer is yes. You should bring it with you. And there's a couple reasons for that, right? You need to submit it through the portal. We have to have that electronic record. It has to be looked at by our health services professionals. And that's what you need to complete the move-in process. But you want to have it with you because technology is imperfect. What if it wasn't in the system and you thought that it was? It's gonna be there, right? But everybody has that worry, right? Of like, do I need to have the physical paper with me? Do I need to have a picture of it? I think, me personally, I've got a picture on my phone. I've got a picture in my email. I've got the, card locked away. It's all being kept very safe just because you never know. So you want to have backups on backups. I also think having the physical card with you for the semester is a good idea because we don't know what's coming as far as recommendations for booster shots. And you're going to want to have the record with you that you can take to a pharmacy or a booster shot giving location if that winds up being necessary over the course of the fall semester. So if you're living far away and it may not be easy to just go home and grab your vaccine card, I think everybody should just plan to bring it with them, keep it safe, locked away in your dorm room. And so you'll just have it, on hand if needed. particularly, I know we do have some students that we've been working with individually who may only have 1 dose of the vaccine prior to move-in of a 2-dose series. And so especially in those cases, bring that physical card with you, because you cannot upload to the student health portal until you've received a complete series of the COVID vaccine. So if you need to have that with you so that a medical provider on site can verify that the first dose was given to allow for that move-in. So I know most of the folks who are in that situation have already been in direct contact with us, but again, just one more reason to make sure folks are bringing that vaccine card with them. Did the numbers just shoot up as I was talking, Julie? That tends to happen. I have that effect on people.
Give me 1 second. Let me get down to the new questions. Hold on.
So while you're doing that, Julie, I see that
Sure.
there have been a couple of questions about multiple cars. And so if you are bringing multiple cars to campus for any particular reason, maybe coming from 2 different directions, small cars, whatever that may be, you can bring more than 1. We would recommend to keep that number as small as possible because it just works better. But you are able to do that when your student comes in to GSU. They will just need to say they need more than 1 parking pass to put on your dashboard, but it won't be a problem. We'll be happy to do that. There was a question that came in from an international perspective. And a couple questions too, students being under 18. Just to reiterate, a parent or guardian will need to accompany them as they come into GSU to go through that process because they're not allowed to sign certain things. However, if your parent or guardian is not coming, let us know and we will work with you. We've done some of those things virtually in the past with parents, but you will need to do that prior to actually getting into your room. So if you happen to be under 18, let us know and we'll take care of that if your parent or guardian is not coming. There was also a question about extension cords. No extension cords. So you are allowed to have surge protectors, power strips, whatever you call those, but their extension cords can be a fire hazard. And so we don't allow them even if you have a surge protector. So please do not bring those with you. So I think I knocked some questions off, Julie, or at least I tried. And then I keep seeing questions about how many people you can bring. So I'll go over this again, just because it gets a little bit confusing. This is separate from your student. You can bring up to 3 people with you. So you can have a total of 3. You can only take, I love the look. You can only take 1 of those people in your room with you at a time. So that way it's not too many. You can switch those persons around, and actually it's great because one person can be coming in as the other person is coming out. Again, it keeps your legs nice and fresh. So please, know you can switch it around. You just can't have mom, dad, grandma, and Uncle Bob in your room at the same time. Each of them, and obviously we can't bring Uncle Bob because you can only bring 3 people. But you can actually have one of those people in your room at a time. They can leave, and then the other person can come in so that you can see them as well. Again, we want to keep everybody safe. We have no way to verify vaccination status of all of these people that are going to be assisting with move-in. So everybody's going to be wearing a mask, and we want to keep those numbers as low as possible.
Thanks, Jill. So you may notice I snuck to the next slide because some of these questions are just written up there, and I think that might be helpful for folks to just see it in writing. So if I'm the student, I'm just me, and I can bring mom, dad, and brother David with me. But only mom comes inside to my dorm to help me move the things, or only dad if he wants to carry the heavy things. But just one is coming inside with me, even though I've brought mom, dad, and brother to help me with the whole process. So hopefully that helps to clarify how the numbers work out.
I see other questions about the time. So again, if your time is at 8:40, come at 8:40. That's when you're going to start the process. You do not need to come early. So I saw how early do I need to come? Please don't come early. Actually, just come at your assigned time, and it will allow the flow to work. So, and again, your unloading time, it's just a series of events. So you're going to start right at 8:40. And as you move through, then you will get to, when you get to the unloading phase, it's all timed because everybody else is going to take the same amount of time before, and it'll work. And you'll really literally pull up. There will be people there to help unload things very, very quickly. And then you're going to go move your car so everybody can have that same wonderful spot right in front to be able to unload their items.
So this is that step 2, this, outlining that whole process of what happens once you leave GSU, Jenga Student Union, and head over to the rest side and do that unloading. So Jill, sorry, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
I was just gonna say, there are some questions about students bringing or parents dropping off things later. Absolutely, you can, drop things off. Again, we don't want you back in the residence halls. So if you have already used your move-in time slot, please just do that exchange outside. Again, we're trying to limit the total number of people in the halls at, one time, but you're more than welcome to, go down, meet, get that item. And students love, I'll be honest, and I don't know how many students are on here, love mail, love food, and love anything that is just that comes in the mail, especially through Amazon. So it doesn't have to be a big thing, but any of those little things I know students absolutely love.
Awesome. So this is, oh, sorry, go ahead. We keep talking at the same time.
That's fine.
This is the slide that I was worried I was going to get to and be like, we already said all of this. So I think in one way or another, we did cover a lot of this already, but just to kind of put a bow on it, once you get that key, you head over to the residential side. Public safety officers are going to help you find a place to park that's right in front of your residence hall. You'll get to unload your belongings. The car gets relocated, and our Howie's helpers are going to be circulating to provide support, especially for those larger items that you might need to get up a couple flights of stairs. Everybody's wearing masks, and the dining hall is open for grab and go meals for students and parents. So just to recap, and then I will get right back in to questions, which will be the remainder of our program because we know you have a lot of them. So Julie, why don't we do this? Why don't we say maybe our panelists can just jump into that Q&A, start typing answers. If you see a question that you're like, I really want to answer this out loud because I know a lot of people are going to be asking it, go ahead and jump in and just, give your 2 cents. And Julie, if you're seeing anything that you want somebody to address, you can just call us out and we'll get it done. Does that seem okay?
Yes. One question that has a couple of multiples is, can the vaccination card be a copy?
Yes, that's absolutely fine.
Perfect. We just answered that one, so that is great. The other question was, and Jill, I'm pretty sure we've addressed this, but we're still getting a couple of questions about, if my student lives in a single, are we standing firm on the still only one person in the room with them?
Absolutely, because it has to do with our guest policy. So if you look online, we want to kind of get in that habit right now. And the way the guest policy works is it's the number of people that could live in that room. And then the total is ×2. So if they're in a single, you can only have, one guest. It's easy too, as people are walking through, so we can keep track of how many people are there. And overall, we just can't have that many people in the hallways. Those rooms are smaller than what you think, although they're also bigger than what you think. It's kind of a strange thing, but with too many people in there, it just gets too hectic. And I'll be honest too, a lot of times when students are moving in, it can be a little overwhelming. And when you have too many people in there, it just emotions can run really high. So if you have one person there, it seems to really work better, I think, for lots of things. I see some questions about, are there activities for the neighborhoods? Absolutely. Certainly we have some programs that students will come early, and there is some special programming, but we have lots and lots of things for our students, whichever program they're part of. So if they're coming for Start Strong 1, they really do need to come the same day that they're doing Start Strong. I know I see some things in the chat that say, well, is it okay if I come here or there? Am I going to miss stuff? Yes, you're going to miss stuff. So please come during your designated move-in time. We have RAs in all of our communities. They are excited for all of you to arrive and have lots of things planned. So whatever group that you're a part of, it'll be a great experience. And, we're really looking forward to a very different year this year.
Katie, in terms of masking for move-in, we're getting questions about, will they have to be worn when they are outside at all times or only when they are inside?
Yep, so our mask policy on campus generally is masks required indoors, but not required outdoors. So it's hot. If you need to take a mask break, outdoors is the place to be. and just away from others, but campus is quite large, so I don't think you'll have trouble.
Perfect. There's also some questions about if they only have their first dose prior and then they're coming and their second dose is like the day or the day after they're moving in. What's and I believe we covered this, but we're covering a lot of things.
No, I'm
what's
so
the
glad
time?
this question came up because we actually, so on Friday the 20th and Saturday the 21st, we will have vaccination on campus available. So if you're due for dose 2 of Pfizer, for example, we will have Pfizer vaccines available on the 20th on that Friday if you're moving in. We won't have Moderna available on Friday, but we will have all 3 available on Saturday, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. So, if you need a second dose of Pfizer or Moderna, sign up for Saturday. Because if that timing lines up, we could take care of you right at move-in. Which might just make your lives a little bit easier. We also, I know we talked about the Bishop's Corner takeover, so I'll just keep harping on Bishop's Corner, but there's a lot of places in Bishop's Corner that are vaccination sites. And so if you need to get that second dose, maybe your day that you're due is like Monday the 23rd or Tuesday the 24th, you can head right up to Bishop's Corner or pre-schedule an appointment if you want to look up the sites that are right in our area and just get that second dose taken care of then. We will check in with you during the move-in process if you only have that 1 dose done to figure out when you're going to get that second dose and to make sure we're following up with you, that you're following all of our guidelines for students who are partially vaccinated, and that you will complete that series and upload that card once it's completed.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm perusing as fast as I possibly can.
It keeps jumping like every time
Yes.
I'm reading a question. So I'm sorry. And actually I may have like accidentally clicked on some and said answer live. So I'm just going to answer them live, even though I was going to try to type a response just because things keep jumping around. A question about instruments and moving instruments into lockers. That's something that will happen after you've completed the move-in check-in process for the main kind of move-in check-in. So if you have a heat sensitive instrument that you're worried about, my suggestion is getting in contact with the Hart School in advance about locker space and timing, so that you can kind of schedule that with them for around the same time as you're completing the move-in process. I think that's going to be your best bet there.
Excellent. Jill, lots of questions about raising the bed and storing things under the bed. What are our thoughts about that?
So I have lived in 3 of our different areas, including in the neighborhood. So it's a great place to be. Not too many directors, I think, can say that they have lived on campus for about 6 months. So I have tried them out. The beds are great, but I don't know the answer to that question. So I have reached out to my team and I've said, can you please give me some additional information? I have not heard back. So if that is a question that you're interested in, you can certainly email our office or give us a call tomorrow, and we will do our best to answer that. The beds do come apart, but it's really difficult to do that. I do see that some of the smaller refrigerators fit under, but not all the time. I think there's some food questions, Julie, that maybe Jeff could answer about food on Thursday. When students are coming early, is there anything to eat? And I'll be honest, the food is already, Commons is already open and it's amazing. I had dinner tonight and that butter chicken, Jeff, to die for. And Deanna's desserts. I think you need to talk a little bit about the bakery and just the amazing things that are offered.
I'm so excited to eat in Commons this weekend.
So I promise you they'll probably come back with the freshman 15 and I apologize. But, no, on Thursday, if your students are moving in, I know there's some special groups that are moving in. I know Leeds moving in. I know there's also some students moving into Hawk Hall. Those are all taken care of. Your meals for your students will be taken care of. They'll be through the Commons on Thursday. And then on Friday, our whole meal plan starts. They have options at every single one of our locations that are open. They can use their dining dollars. Just remind your students if they can bring their cards starting on Friday, because we will be swiping in at the door at Commons, and then at all of our other locations, they'll use that card for their meal plan. So tons and tons of different options. I will tell you, there's been a couple of questions about what does grab and go mean on the day that you're there, and you're more than welcome to come into Commons and take a look at it. Basically, it's takeout. right? So that day they're going to be able to come in, you're going to be able to choose what you want, and then you would just take it out and take it to go. So you still have all the options that I talked about at all the different stations. So it's not like we're going to hand you a, grocery store or a convenience store, salad or wrap or something like that. You're going to have all the options that everybody's talking about. You'll have a chance to visit our amazing bakery. You'll have a chance to visit all of our different stations. So I just want to get that disclaimer out because I know some people had some questions about allergies. I will tell you guys the best way to get in touch with us about allergies, please have your student meet with us. I know we've met with a couple of you guys virtually, which is fantastic. But if they haven't reached out to us, I would tell you guys, and I answered it in the question box, please email me. You can also visit hartford.campusdish.com and it has all of our allergen information there as well. We have a registered dietitian on our staff that can meet with your student. We have all of our menus up online 3 weeks in advance, and they can also they have little filters that depending on what your student has for an allergy, they can omit those things. So if it was a dairy allergy, they would put dairy allergy and it would take out all of the items that they can't have. So it's very user-friendly. It's very up to date, and it's just fantastic. But if your students are nervous, which I know a lot of students are, please have them see a manager on the first day. We'll do a tour with them. We'll introduce them to staff, and we'll make sure that they're accommodated.
Julie, is there a way to put something in the Q&A as an answer, like a link? Or can I send it to you to do that?
Sorry, Jill, I just muted you by accident and I didn't mean to do that because I was looking at you, looking at me.
It's okay. No, my question is there a way to put a link in? So there have been a couple of questions about our guest policy that has been sent out to parents and to students, but I wanted to make sure that people have that link so they can understand who can come into our residence halls and just have a little bit more information.
I believe that yes, as long as you address it and don't click the answer privately, then folks should be able to see that.
Okay, right, but I didn't want to put it on the question. I wanted to, the question was private. So
No, unfortunately, because we have chat not enabled, that would be the only other option.
Okay.
So,
I'm going to look for another question that best fits, and I will put the link in there. There's a question about elevators. Hawk Hall has elevators. The other neighborhood buildings do not have elevators.
One question I'm seeing that I wanted to address out loud, I did type an answer, but I just feel like this bears repeating, is about ID cards and how you're getting your ID card and where you're getting your ID card. So if you haven't yet visited hartford.edu/checklist, that is home base for you right now. You want to make sure you've done all of the things that are listed on that site before coming to campus. And one of those items is about uploading a photo for your ID card. You get to take your own photo. I think that's great because I'm not in love with my ID photo. So you can have as many takes as you need, get that ID photo looking awesome and upload your photo. And if you do that, then your ID card with that photo is going to be ready and waiting for you when you check in and pick up your key at the residential life check-in area in Jengra Student Union. So that's so important. So that everything's really seamless, but so is everything else on that checklist. So I just always want to plug the checklist any chance I can.
love that. Jill, I apologize. Did you address the question about whether or not LED strip lights can be on the walls?
I have not, but students love those. So yes, they can be on the walls. I know when my kids walk through campus, that is their favorite thing to look at night, and it's beautiful. So as long as you don't have extension cords, absolutely, you can put those on walls.
Perfect.
Jill, I have another question for you, Julie. Can I hop in? Because it involves,
please.
There's some questions about Start Strong and move-in. Some students have a check-in time around 2 p.m. And it's the same day as their move-in time. So they're just a little confused about what Start Strong session they should sign up for. I'm not sure why students had such a late time, but there's a few students in here who said, I'm not checking in until 2 p.m. the day I'm moving onto campus. What session should I sign up for?
So I think to clarify, the way that the program is set up, you can sign up at any time, but we are directing new students to come between 8:30 and 11:30. So if you are part of that RLC program lead, especially, one of those specialty programs, we want you to come on August 19th, or if you have another day that's been given to you, please come on that day. On the 20th, we want you to come in the morning, 8:30 to 11:30, so you can start in the afternoon. And on the 21st, the same thing. The system will let you sign up for an afternoon time. We don't want you to sign up for an afternoon time, but we also recognize there's a few students that it just won't work for them. And at the same time, we're not going to prohibit people from coming. Just understand that's really not when we want you to be here. And we actually won't have our Howie's helpers in the afternoon. So if you want help unloading that car and, you know, getting some of those heavier items up to your room, I would really suggest you come in the morning.
Perfect, thank you. So if that is the case and you find yourself in a situation where you have to check out or check in on your Start Strong session day at 2 p.m., we'll just get you caught up to where the programming is at that point. So you will miss a little bit of the morning program, some of the welcome programs, some of the icebreakers with your classmates, but we will get you caught up to wherever the programming is on Start Strong that day, especially if you're moving in the 21st. We'll get you caught up at 2 p.m. So thank you, Jill, for that clarification, because I was like, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to clarify.
There's a parking question about where you park. Don't worry. As Katie has said, there will be lots of people directing you to where to go. So you will just follow the big line of cars, and there will be lots of people, you know, welcoming you, answering questions, and letting you know where to park. We have been spending weeks on this, and so we have done tours on foot, and we have met in the buildings, and we have drawn schematics. So it will make sense, and there will be a nice flow to the process when you arrive.
So I want to just jump in real quick and make sure that no one feels as though they haven't gotten their question answered when all is said and done. We are thrilled that there are so many questions. We are thrilled that there are so many folks here tonight. But as we're going through, I'm sure as we've jumped around, we've skipped one or two by accident, and we certainly apologize for that. I think first and foremost, the majority of information can be found on the website. And if you go, like Katie had said, to that orientation checklist, there are a ton of different things that can be addressed through there, through various links. Certainly, we can be reached at our css@hartford.edu as well, and we can answer some questions. Unfortunately, we cannot answer the direct, like room change questions and things like that. But I've seen that Jill has gone in and tried to answer as many of those as humanly possible as well. So please don't feel like you can't get your answers. We still have a little bit of time before move-in. We want to make sure that everybody is feeling comfortable, but I just wanted to be sure that nobody left concerned if their exact question wasn't answered. We tried to do things live as well, so hopefully, as with all the overlap, there were things that were answered verbally as well. I'm just peeking to see.
Julie, so there are questions about room changes. We are working as quickly as possible to do those. I will say, and you know, hopefully you can envision this in your head, that when people ask to do room changes, it's not as simple as just moving everybody to a room. A lot of times it's kind of a game of dominoes, meaning when one person asks to move, it then frees up another space, and then we move another person into that space, which frees up another space, and we move another person in. My team is actually working on room changes tonight. I had a quick call right at the beginning. That's why I was off screen. And we are working as quickly as possible. We just have a lot of them, and so we will get to as many as possible. If for some reason we don't get to the room change that you would like, we can do room changes once the year has started. There is a brief time that we pause. I will also point out that sometimes it is better that you don't live with that best friend or the person you like the best. We want people to live with people you live well with. And so sometimes that isn't that person that you get along with as well, or I shouldn't say how you get along with as well, that you're maybe more friendly with, because then you can come home and you both like the temperature of your room the same or whatever. But we are doing the best that we can, and we'll accommodate as many people as we are able.
Katie, you have a request. Could you please put the slide of step two back up.
I
'cause
just
they
saw
wanna take
that. I
feedback.
love it. Yes, I can. Hold on. Here you go. I love it. And I just clicked answer live on a question that I was trying to answer privately, but I'll just answer for everyone about can you bring microwaves and mini fridges? So Jeff, do you want to comment on the microwave, mini fridge, micro fridge situation, or Jill, if you're still available?
Sorry, I had another person come in, they have to lock the office. And just a side note that our office is open. This changed last year because we found that we needed to help students after hours. We are open 8:30 in the morning until 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then on weekends, we're open from 1 p.m. until 8. Initially, we had heard from individuals, they weren't able to get somebody on a weekend, or if they lost an ID card, they didn't know what to do. And this allows people to be able to have questions answered. And, you know, if you have something that's really important, you know, they're going to be scanning through that email and listening to that voicemail to get things answered. Microfridge, what was the specific question, Katie?
And we have them.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Microfridges are allowed. And if you want to, you can still request one through Microfridge, and the information is on the website. And you could rent it, but you can also bring one if you would like to do that. We've gotten questions about what if I move? We did have a delivery actually today, but we will have more deliveries. If somebody moved, you can let Microfridge know that you've moved. And when they're back on campus next week, they can switch your Microfridge.
All right, I'm going to do this one live. I'm seeing a question about if parents are allowed to return to the child's room at any point during the weekend once they're moved in. Parents are allowed to return to campus, but not into the buildings, as no non-student guests or visitors are permitted into the to the residence halls for the first month of school. So if you have stuff that you need to bring back, the student can just pop out of their dorm room and meet you downstairs. I keep calling it a dorm room because that's what it was when I was in college. I know we call it a residence hall now, but I just get nostalgic for my college days, and I call it my dorm. So anyway, but yes, the student can come down and meet you, and you're welcome to, you know, come and go and bring your student off campus, take them out to dinner, like all of that's fine, but just not into the residence hall.
All right. Well, I want to make sure that we are respectful of both our participants' time and our panelists' time. I'm not sure if any of you have any last minute things you want to put out there before we wrap up for the evening. I do know we had a couple of questions about dollars and cents, and there is another dollars and cents event that will be on August 17th. So I threw that out there so folks could see that. Shameless plug, we have one more Circle of Support event for the summer, also next Tuesday on the 17th. And that will be one about sort of supporting your student and the transition to them being with you and moving over with us. And it will have someone from our Dean of Students office as well as someone from our counseling center. So that should be an evening filled with lots of information as well. So panelists, thank you so much. Is there any last minute information you want to get out there?
I saw something about lost keys. So if you are worried that your student might lose a key and be the first one, don't worry, we've already had a student lose a key. So that's not going to happen at this point. But if anybody loses a key at any point in time, what they do is they contact our office. If they think that they have misplaced it, we can sign out a spare key. If they have locked it in their room, they can sign out a spare key and go back and unlock their doors. If it happens after hours, public safety will assist them. And then if they can't find it, it's truly lost, we will record the door and get them a new key and get their roommates a new key. Over in the neighborhoods, it's $120 to have a new key. And if students lose their ID cards, we do the same thing. We turn off their old ID card, and then we will, if it's a weekend and they can't get a new ID card with a picture, we'll issue a temporary card for them to be able to get into the residence halls. And then once they get that new card, it will actually work with their halls. So it happens, and it's one of those things that people feel awful about. Please bring a lanyard or something. I will be honest, please, please, please do not just carry the key around by itself. I've seen students do that, and it's scary because I'm like, they're like, oh, here's my key. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, I just carry it around. And I'm like, or they stick it in their wallet loose. I'm like, no, that's not a good plan. So put it on something so that you don't lose it.
Julie, I just want to add again, the Start Strong schedule is on our hartford.edu/orientation webpage. So that's where your student can see a rundown of the events. If they are not signed up for Start Strong or virtual orientation and they didn't attend it in May, please sign up for either August 15th or 16th. And I know there was a lot of hopefully clarity on the Start Strong session in Move-In with the residential learning communities in Hawk Hall and Lead. So if your student does need to change their Start Strong session and doesn't know how, they can just email the Center for Student Success. And again, that email is C as in cat, S as in Sam, S as in Sam at hartford.edu. And we'll be sure we make that switch because I know there was some confusion and I want to make sure we get them in the right session.
As I'm still going through the Q&As and trying to like type out last minute answers, I am seeing some of you and I so appreciate it. You're saying thank you and we appreciate the information and I love y'all for it. And also I'm dismissing those so that I'm not forgetting about the ones that are still questions. So if you see that, I've kind of moved your question to the side or moved your thank you to the side, it's not because I don't appreciate it. I really do. But I am kind of trying to clean out that questions inbox. But thank you all so much for your kind words. We really appreciate it. It's been awesome spending this evening with you. We so appreciate all your questions. And it's been nice to be able to kind of get together and tackle a lot of these in person, so to speak, instead of just via email and kind of get to know you all a little bit better. So thank you.
Katie, there was a question about Stride. Are you able to answer that about when those students are coming?
Yeah,
I actually asked them to contact us directly because there could be a variety of different things. So I figured it was easier to have them contact us directly.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
I'm going to just go back to the Q&A.
And there was a question, I think, Katie, that's really important about Live Safe, talking about when people need to do it or not do it. They were like, do I do it on the first day? Do visitors do it on the first day?
Yes, all of our parents and guests and visitors should do Live Safe before coming onto our campus. So there is a visitor section that you'll fill out. Obviously, if anyone has been, a close contact of a positive COVID case and you're unvaccinated or you're symptomatic, we do ask that you not come to campus. But we all are also asking all of our parents and guests to complete that Live Safe survey before coming onto campus.
Okay.
There's some questions about doors locking. Most of our buildings, the doors lock automatically. Many of the buildings, the doors shut automatically as well. Hawk Hall is one of them. So, we don't allow doors to be propped, and students will need to carry their keys with them all the time, even when they go to the restrooms.
Perfect. Katie, I think one of the last questions might be, do we know when the Healthy Hawks is going to be available, the training? And I do not know that answer. Do you know that answer?
I may be able to find it in my email. I shall go check now.
I mean, I also feel as though they will certainly get plenty of notification of that. So I wouldn't over worry about the Healthy Hawk training. You will get notification after notification that it is out there and ready to be done. But I just didn't know if you knew off the top of your head when that would be available.
Stay tuned. I'm reaching out to the expert.
Okay, Jeff, while she's doing that, can you explain dining dollars a little bit more and how they can add money?
Sure. So dining dollars are, think of it just like a regular bank account. It's a declining balance account. So if your student has $100 or $300, whatever is loaded on their plan, They will be able to use that at all of our retail locations for anything. So if they wanted to get a bottle of water and it costs $2, you know, they would swipe their card and their declining balance would go down to $98. All of their cards are also hooked up to Grubhub. So they just have to, when they get on campus, they would download the Grubhub app. They would load in their ID number and they'll be automatically able to order things ahead of time and pick them up. Students love doing this. They go to class, you know, 5 minutes before the class ends, they order lunch and then they can grab lunch really quickly and they're out of there really, really quickly with their friends. So great feature. If you want to purchase more, you can either go to hartford.campusdish.com or you can visit the ID office and they can add those for you manually, but it's very easy to do it all online. You can do it by credit card. We also do promotions as well. So a lot of times during the semester, especially around like Thanksgiving time, we'll run promotions where if you purchase $100, you'll get $10 for free and things like that. So just keep an eye out, follow us on Instagram, follow us on all of our social media channels. We do that stuff all the time.
Perfect.
I just saw that there's some questions about LiveSafe, so I'm posting the link so that people can take a look at that. So if people aren't familiar with that, we use what's called LiveSafe to be able to do a daily health screening. It allows our students to also let us know if they happen to be experiencing COVID symptoms so that we can respond appropriately. And it's also a safety feature that if they're having a concern about something or need something to be addressed, they're able to put in that information so that we can respond.
Nope, never mind. You already answered that.
And there's lots of questions about what our visitor policy is going to look like after the first month. We just don't know at this point. We are excited to allow guests in rooms. We didn't allow that really very much at all last year. So we're starting there and they're with all of our students that are part of our campus community. And then beyond that, we will see where things are in a month. We just don't know at this point. But people can come onto campus, you can visit outside, and there are other places and ways to do that.
I've heard back from my source on the Healthy Hawks training. So the first round should be going out next week. So you haven't missed anything if you haven't received anything, because you haven't received anything. So it's going next week. And so stay tuned. That hartford.edu email is your lifeline right now. I know I said that was the checklist. It's also the checklist. The checklist and your hartford.edu email is really where you want to be for the next several weeks, because that is really, you know, just making sure you're getting all the information that you need and getting everything done that you need to have done.
How many people are we expecting every day? It will vary. We actually have a number of students that will arrive early. And so in terms of each morning, I would say we're going to be somewhere around 250 to 300 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you happen to be an athlete or if you happen to have a student that's already here for a reason, they will need to check in for Start Strong and they'll be given instructions when to do that because they are also going to be participating in that program as well. And they will go through kind of that check-in process. We don't want them to miss out on all the balloons and all the pretty things that we're going to have.
So Fallon, got a question here for you. If students who are doing Start Strong on the Friday into Saturday morning, what do they do Saturday and Sunday evening? Are there activities for them? I love this question.
Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is where most of, or just about all of the first year students will be moved in. And that's where we're collaborating with Center for Student Success for outdoor activities in the evening time. Sunday, like I mentioned before, that evening is where it's Bishop's Takeover, where we'll be shuttling students back and forth from campus so that they can go to Target. There's a Marshall's, Noodles and Company, a couple restaurants over there. And just ways to explore and pick up new items right before the start of classes on Monday. Saturday night, I know for the Start Strong portion, their activities will end around 9 p.m. I believe that's right, Chrissy? 9 p.m. And then we'll be picking up some late night stuff starting at 10 p.m. by the fire pit. You'll probably get to hear me try to sing one note with karaoke, but we'll see how we do.
And again, students can have guests on campus. We're talking about the policy that I posted has to do with inside the residence halls. We want, again, to keep those spaces. That's where a place where people in your personal space can actually not wear a mask. And that is only confined to your room. So the hallways, going to the bathroom, those spaces, you're going to need to have a mask on. But when you're in your personal space, so for our students that are living in Hawk Hall A, B, C, or F, your bedroom, you won't need to have a mask on. Lounge, yes. Community kitchen, yes. Study room, yes. Laundry room, but not in your actual bedroom.
Okay, so great questions, great numbers. I think unfortunately at this time though, we might need to wrap it up because again, I just want to be super sensitive to everyone's time. I know the questions are going to keep coming in and we are more than happy to answer those questions. We may just need to do it via our common emails or our website and checklists. So certainly do not feel like you're not going to get those answers. There was one that I felt like somebody was just in the middle of answering. Yep, looks like Fallon is answering one right now. So we certainly will not shut that down and allow her to be able to do that.
Julie, did you already give a plug for CSS at hartford.edu?
I did, but it's worth saying it again.
I missed it because I was typing answers. So,
Yes.
I don't type as fast, so it was a little bit of a struggle for me, but I'm all set.
Okay, perfect.
thank you so
Yes.
much, Fallon. So yes,
Everyone,
CSS at hartford.edu.
Yes.
That's, if you didn't get a question answered tonight, it's not because we don't love you and appreciate you. It's just
Nope.
because it was really hard to scroll through all the questions and it kept jumping around and we did our best. So please reach out again. All of us are available. We've got big teams that are available to help, answer any remaining questions that you have, or, if you close out this program tonight and think, oh, I wish I had asked that, email us. We're still here. We'll be there tomorrow.
Yes. So that is CSS Sam at hartford.edu.
Or Center for Student Success. But whatever.
Well then, if that doesn't just illustrate for you guys how we are these days. Anyway, so please email us because we would love to hear from you. And there are still other events happening. So like I said, go to our website and look at the checklist, look at the circle of support. There are still a couple of events happening in the next couple of weeks. So you don't have to feel like this is the be all and end all. There are still other things. And yes, there was a reoccurring question about, is there a recording? So yes, that fabulousness that I just said was caught on recording. That's great. And our Office of Communication has already reached out to me to say, when can they have that link? So they'll be making sure that this link is posted. So watch the website. Again, they will have it at some point in time tomorrow. So do not worry. This has all been recorded for posterity. So you can play it all over again. So thank you for everyone. Lots of wonderful questions, lots of great answers. And if you need it again, like I said, watch the website for the recording. We thank everyone so much for joining us tonight. And we really, really look forward to meeting you in the next couple of weeks because we are excited to see everyone back in person. So participants, thank you so much. Panelists, you were top notch. Thank you. I hope everybody has a great night and we will see you soon. Bye.